All right, sorry about that. I got cut off. We've got two more slides. I was talking about the Qing dynasty and its new culture and economy, and I was telling you that there was no break in fundamental cultural styles from the Ming. The philosophy and the emphasis of Confucianism was the same. Although they were an outside ethnic minority, they were still very exclusive, did not want to explore, did not want to colonize. A huge focus on the history of East Asia, also developed calligraphy, poetry, and painting styles. Some consider the Qing dynasty to be the Renaissance within China, as you do have all kinds of new forms of literature and fine arts. This is also where they lose their last monopoly in porcelain, and you see that in their fine arts. They also had scroll and screen painting that was very popular, and more Chinese were being educated and enjoying the arts than ever before. But at the same time, China's losing its lead in science and technology as Europe is beginning to dominate with the scientific revolution and with exploration. So the Chinese opted and said we're more sensitive, more interested in sensitivity and beauty and nature. We're less interested in empiricism and facts and evidence, and they begin to actually downgrade some of the quantitative sciences, like physics, for example, and instead just looked at more practical uses for science. This will contribute to the shift of power from the east to the west. But ultimately, the Qing dynasty will fall too, and this goes beyond our time period. The last Qing emperor is not going to be until 1911, but they decline for about 200 years, where the Qing dynasty and China itself is just sort of passed by and in some ways forgotten by the West, and drops out as a dominant world region. So while there were some upticks and upsurges in internal trade, they remained isolated, rigid, stuck in tradition, and as a result began to experience massive famines and poverty. And meanwhile, the West begins empire building in the New World, begins the Columbian Exchange that we know about, where there is disease. Of course, it's a bad thing, but there are also and slavery, but there are also a lot of good trading going on, especially with other goods and raw materials and fruits and vegetables. And so the Columbian Exchange replaces the Silk Road, and the New World replaces China as Europe's main destination point and Europe's main focus. And Europe continues to leave China behind, as China certainly doesn't go away, but they also do not keep up. And that will end the screencast on the Ming and Qing dynasty and our last installation of Chinese history. All right, thanks.